the system is broken. It's there to keep people sick because that's where the money is made. Young men in their 20s, 30s, healthy, would get the vaccine. And you would start seeing side effects like...
You're saying that there really were completely healthy people getting this first strain and dying.
I had this seemingly healthy middle-aged woman. Within 30 minutes, she crashed, coded, and died.
When going on and doctors weren't allowed to say anything bad, like, did you guys get faxes? Did someone call you and say, don't say anything? Or where do you get your rules from?
So this highlights how corrupt the system is.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs today in the studio, folks. As always, I've got a real treat for you. Dr. Remina Panjwani. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, I'm into health and fitness more and more as I age, and I wanted to pick your brain on a few things. Folks, if you guys don't know who she is, she's a physician who basically blew past traditional medicine, served in the military, rebuilt herself through nutrition, chemistry, sleep, and resilience, and now practices full spectrum functional medicine. She didn't just walk away from burnout. She hacked her way back to purpose, creating her own concierge wellness practice in Dallas, Fort Worth, and launching the Dr. Remina Panjwani Show. She's not waiting for permission to rewrite healthcare. She's redefining what it means to be a healer in the 21st century. That sounds pretty fancy. So are you against Western medicine?
I wouldn't say I'm against it. I just know that our system is flawed and there's gaps in the system. And so I wanted to... That being said, the system is broken and there's no way fixing it. So I blend the best of Eastern and Western to create my own system to truly help.
How is it broken?
When you look at it, the prime situation, I would like to take it back to during COVID. You could see the big gaps in the system where the ugly beast of medicine shows up. It's all about money. It's a business. And yes, you want to help people. In the acute setting, yes, hospitals are there to save lives. If you're having a heart attack, of course, you want to go put a bandage on it. But essentially, it's not there to have a healthy, optimal system. It's a reactive system. It's there to keep people sick. If you look at it, aging in the United States, everyone fears it. The last 10 years of your life, you're probably in and out of the hospital. So our hospital system...
Hold on real quick.
Yeah.
The last 10 years of your life.
Yeah.
Meaning to what age?
I would say average until you die. So
what's the last 10 years of someone's life? I mean, it could be 16.
Yeah.
But normally when you said the last 10 years of your life, you're in and out of the hospital. What age are you talking about? 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100?
Yeah. I would say maybe even beginning in your 60s if you don't take care of yourself. And our system keeps that going because that's where the money is made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've got some questions for you.
Let's go.
Because a lot of people trust doctors and they act like everything you guys say is fact. And I'm sure you believe everything you say, but I could line up 10 doctors that'll say you are incorrect. And then you would say, no, you're incorrect. And it's like all of these varying opposing views. How do we non-doctors know who to listen to?
And there's a lot of noise out there. Some people speak with more confidence, so they're more aware, and so you're more likely to believe that. But the truth is, that's another issue in our system. Doctors were so divided, and if we come together and create a system, we can help people and get rid of that noise out there, per se. So I would say, yes, bringing health into your own hands and knowing who the truth source is, that's one. And when you look at, yes, there are doctors with differing opinions. And yes, maybe we all at some point say it's fact, but I think there's also a humbling point that maybe there is something more that we didn't learn in medical school.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
But my question is, how come doctors can't agree? Which means to me, well, then it's not necessarily known. It's thought about, meaning I read a study, I see something, and then as a doctor, I'm choosing to go with that as opposed to someone who read a different study. And then I always wonder, well, who financed the study?
Exactly.
So again, you're basically saying and admitting that the healthcare system is not designed to keep us healthy.
In the United States, yes.
In the United States,
Yeah.
is there any country where the health system works?
I would say every country has their own flaws. There's not one fix. And that's why when you blend, and I wouldn't say alternative, if you enhance, yes, the good things with both Eastern and Western, that's where the medicine is there to heal and optimize people. So going back to how do you know who to believe? And when I started on my route of conventional medicine, that's what they taught us. Look at what the studies show and go off of that.
Now, a lot of people look at people that are saying things similar to you, and they're like, oh, well, you're not a real doctor. So just for the audience, you are a real doctor.
Yes, I am a real physician, and I joke about this. Like, I'm a real doctor, and I just add a little bit of extra.
Because usually it's the holistic medicine doctor, and they get to say doctor for one reason or another, but they're not actually doctors.
Exactly. And so there's a lot of people that do walk around with white coats and do have some sort of doctoring credential, but I went to med school. I went through residency training, board certified, internal medicine, but I did additional certification in functional medicine too.
What's the difference between functional and conventional?
Conventional is basically a standard of care, which is good when you want to have a bandage approach, right? But it truly doesn't personalize it. So when you look at functional medicine, it is a personalized approach that looks beyond just standard lab numbers. We look at what is your environment doing? What does your sleep look like? What is your stress lifestyle look like? What are you eating? What's your exercise? Mind, body, spirit. Those factors are overlooked in conventional medicine.
Why do you think that is, though? Because I mean, like, that to me is common sense.
Right.
So we're producing doctors that don't look at anything that matters.
And that's where the issue is, because you don't have the tools to look through that perspective.
Why don't they teach that?
And that's part of my mission too, is bring that into med schools. I'm working on it, Brad.
So it says that you've, rebuilt yourself. What happened? Mm-hmm. Like, did you get some sort of, nervous breakdown? What happened?
I wouldn't say it's a nervous breakdown, and it's actually in stages in my journey.
Let's go back to where, like, you aren't a doctor yet. You're 18.
Yeah.
Where do you live?
All right. Let's see. I'm 18, and at this time I'm in Texas.
Okay. And then you decided to go to med school.
Actually, I went to the military first.
Okay. So you decided to go into the military. What branch?
Air Force.
Okay. That's where the smart ones go, apparently. That's what I was told. Of course, he was in the Air Force.
I'm going to agree.
So you went into the Air Force. How long did you serve?
So I did 6 total years.
And did you go in there to become a doctor, or did you just go in there because that was the only thing going at the time?
Can I get real with you?
Yes.
All right. It was actually, when I look back on my journey, it was a self-worth thing. And I didn't realize that until now. I'm 40. Yeah, I'm aging myself. I'm 40 and I look back, and that's exactly what my journey was. It was a self-worth. And isn't that what most of us are trying to achieve? Because once you fill in those blanks, build up with the tools, then you can be authentically you. I didn't know that at the time. At that time, my background, I'm the first generation to grow up in the United States. Family came from no money, a developing country. So
is that India?
Pakistan.
It
was one country at some point.
Because a lot of Indian people become doctors and lawyers. Like, you guys are big educators over there. You guys believe heavy in education. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you grew up here.
I grew up here,
but your parents obviously big into education.
No, they weren't.
No?
And that was part of my worth. Yeah.
So when you say your worth, your lack of worth.
Yeah.
So did you go in the Air Force because you didn't value yourself, or you were lost and didn't know yourself?
I would say, in a sense, I think I needed to discover myself, but then also not be a burden on my family, because as common people think that South Asian parents push education, I was battling the cultural restrictions in my end. My parents were like, oh, just go get married and have kids. Nothing wrong with that. I just knew there was a burning desire for more. I knew there was more. I just didn't know what it was yet, and I didn't have the tools. Yeah. So I remember thinking back, like, this is the next step. This will help me get the financial resources. And at that time, there was an inner voice that said, I do need to be a healer. I do want to be a doctor, but I know there's more too. Can I be a doctor? Am I good enough? Because growing up, I wasn't told. I never had the resources. It was survival. It was like living paycheck to paycheck.
Insecure.
So, insecure too. Yeah. And I have the confidence now to speak about it. And I grew in so many ways. I mean, think about it. You're 18, your brain isn't fully developed and you're in the military. And so say circa 2003, this is where.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If your brain isn't fully developed, but yet we send 18-year-olds to war, so we're sending children to war.
When you think about it from a brain perspective, a neurological science perspective, yeah, it's still developing.
And would the whole medical and scientific community agree with that?
I can't speak for everyone, but
because if you think about it, like that's crazy. I've always said, man, you can send this kid to war, but he can't come home and have a beer. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, who's making these rules? That's all I want to know. Number one, you know, I would send an 18-year-old kid to war. I'd send a 12-year-old kid to war. But common sense says, don't have wars.
Right.
Right. And so at the end of the day, if you're in a war, it's like all hands on deck, you know, but since we have so many people, I'd probably start at maybe 21 if they're still not mentally developed. Because even if it's 18, it's a young adult, but it's still, you know, if they're not mentally developed, why are we sending them to war? You know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Did the Air Force teach you anything?
I learned a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay.
And
what'd you learn there?
In particular, I would like to say this was my first war zone and turning point. So here I am, signed up for the Air Force, and I get my first deployment in Baghdad, Iraq. And I think back on this, I was with security forces at that time, dressed in my battle gear, and there was this big explosion that happened right in front of me. And the higher power, for those of you that believe in a higher power, God, that was a miracle. I was grateful to be saved because there was 4 gas tanks and a big rocket hit it. And I was just surrounded by sandbags, not much of protection if it was just off of the other direction. So at that point, I had an eye-opening experience. I said, you know what? I'm not ready to die. I need to figure out what tools I need to be successful. No more second guessing myself. I'm going to figure it out. And so that was the beginning of the new me, of challenging, getting self-worth, getting that confidence. So I came back, got the tools, got financial support, getting an education. I didn't have anyone help me. I didn't know where I was going to go with it. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try to be a doctor. And all those people that say I'm not smart enough, good enough, you know what? It's not the right crowd. I need to figure it out. So that's exactly what I did. I started taking classes, evening classes, after doing my duty as a soldier. And that's exactly how I started educating myself, started building my sense of worth. But that was just the beginning, because I started my wellness journeys shortly after that.
Were you fat or anything?
Actually, I wasn't. I was petite.
Yeah, because you're petite. You're a petite one.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm packed with a lot of feistiness.
but when you say wellness journey, it tends me to think, well, maybe you weren't well. Were you not mentally well, or? So
wellness is everything, right? My philosophy is we're not just a body of organs. We also have mind, body, spirit to make you who you are. And so even as high performers, if your mind's not right, everything's not going to be following. So yeah, I had a lot. Thank you. I don't want to give you post-traumatic stress disorder from the bombs. No, good. I've worked through that. Yeah, but like I always tell people, it's all the mind. I mean, it starts and ends with your mind. Yeah. And that's the craziest thing, because if you can get control of that, man, life is not difficult. Yeah. It's just not. And people want to argue with me all the time. And I'm like, that's because you don't have control of it. Exactly. And during that time, people didn't talk about it. You would just be labeled as a conventional labeling of mental disorder, anxiety, depression. I put that in quotes because what's the root cause? If you look at root causes, yes, they may be showing up in your body as a mindset, mind block issue, And they may show up as maybe panic disorder or whatever issue there is or whatever block you're having. But look at the other factors that is overlooked in conventional medicine. And that's why I love bringing in my lens of functional medicine. Well, did you know if you have certain vitamin deficiency, like vitamin D3, or that could present itself as depression? Did you know if you don't sleep right? Or what about nutrition, exercise? Are you overdoing your nervous system so it's going off balance? And what about the people you surround yourself, right? The people you surround yourself, if is it a negative or a positive impact, it's going to affect you as well. Then you, of course, you dig in the prior trauma. And so I didn't know all these. Hence, when I discovered my own path, my own journey, I knew there's a tool. So taking it back to what was my issue? I look normal, right? But that's the thing. Any high performer, I like to refer to the term high functioning anxiety. And I'll dive into that. But at that time, for me, it showed up as panic attacks, but I didn't know exactly where it came from. Surface level, what do we do in conventional medicine? We throw medicine on it. We medicate you, and maybe you get talk therapy, but you're not getting to the root cause. You're covering it up.
What's the root cause?
Exactly. And everyone's different. So when you look at how each person is complex, look at the inner trauma. When we talk about what is trauma, right? We have trauma with the big T and then little t's. Something during your developmental stages, let's say
1 through 8.
That's one, particularly the first 7 years and then the next 7 years. And your brain and your developmental cues are you're ready, you're a sponge. So your caregivers or whatever influences you had, they make an impact. And we don't know at that time, right? We don't feel it, but later in adulthood, they pop up, right? And so when you think about, well, what's the blockage? Well, why am I having panic attacks? Why am I depressed or anxious?
Well, how do you explain one sibling doing well and the rest not, if they had the same influences?
Well, that's just part of it, right? So your environment, your DNA, when you're born, when you're in the womb, it affects it from then. Not to say that you're doomed when you come out, but depending on the environment, if your mom had a healthy environment, then it affects your epigenetics, your DNA. And if you had terrible influences, like maybe a traumatic environment, maybe drugs, alcohol, then of course we know those are going to have adverse effects. Then you add in, as you grow older, and then you add in lifestyle, the type of foods you eat, everything else, and it tips your balance. And so maybe that's part of the answer. That's part of the why some people respond differently. Because we have a capacity. So maybe you handle stress a different way. And yes, you may have had environmental upbringings and lifestyle factors that affect it. But then here's the big kicker. You're not set. You can biohack your system. We have something called neuroplasticity. Basically, you can rewire your brain. And then you have epigenetics, meaning there's certain genes that are under your control that you can turn on and off based off of your lifestyle. So for instance, look at if you want to create a new behavior, if you want to rewire that circuit, any new habit takes, I want to say, about 21 days to develop, and it takes longer to ingrain it. So rewiring that neural circuit could be anything. So if it comes back to your thoughts, are you blocking your own thoughts like, oh, I'm not good enough to do this? Oh, this is a terrible idea. Who's going to want to support this? Or whatever your block is, catch your thoughts. And then there's so much training out there. That's part of it. But then the epigenetics, if you're having any other issue, you look at going back to the lifestyle, that turns things on and off. When you think about, I love to talk about gut-brain axis or resting or sleep, all those, there's so much science that is brought to, I would say, conventional medicine now. Hopkins, Harvard, they have such big data now that's catching up to support this.
See, again, why didn't they have it before? Number one. Number two, how do you know there's not more going to come out that debunks that?
And there may be, and that's science, right?
Yeah, but isn't there some sort of like universal truth that everybody agrees with? All doctors agree.
So there's a complex answer to that, because
were you giving people advice to get the jab or not get the jab?
Well, first I want to answer, doctors are never going to agree on the same page.
And that's why I have a hard time trusting them. And yet they're so trusted. Like everybody, oh, the doctor said, the doctor, Brad, you're not a doctor. You're not a doctor. It's like, don't you understand? In my mind, and again, I don't put down the education they received. I just question who taught them and what was their agenda, because you can teach somebody something for 8 years and they come out believing it 100%. But then again, who taught you and who taught them and who taught them? And originally, what was the agenda for these things? Was it truly to heal people? Because again, I always look at doctors and think, well, obviously, dude, all these doctors aren't evil people trying to get people sick so we can make money. Like all the doctors I know are great people. Yeah. And they're honestly trying to help people. So where's all this evil cabal coming from? Because it isn't the doctors. No. But if a doctor, and I know a bunch that advise you to get the, well, then that doctor doesn't know shit. Clearly. Yeah. Because why in the hell? Now, again, I'll let you finish, but I want to know if you were one of those, because some did and some didn't. And the ones that didn't got in trouble and medical licenses yanked and like they were not welcomed. But now reports are out. Looks like they were correct. Are any of them rehired? Are any of them welcomed back in and apologized to?
Oh gosh. And that's where it shows the beast of what medicine has become, corporate medicine. So I would say we all agree on the first part of that. We generally don't want to do harm. We generally want to heal people. With the tools that we know, we make the best decisions of the information we have. Knowing what I know now, I know there's more. I know there's always question the status quo, the status quo. Know that you have other options. And my biggest thing is, my clients come to me because I am trusted. I will give them, this is what people think, this is what people are saying, but then there's this too. And I, with them, help them make a decision. I don't tell them what to do, and that's what it is.
And I'm sure you're trying to make the best decision based on who they are.
Exactly. And that's a personal approach. It's not saying, okay, well, based off of this data on probably not even the client population you're in, we need to do this.
Well, you're a concierge wellness physician now for like high-end people and whatnot, but more men or more women?
More women now.
You have men?
I do have some men, yeah.
Now, will they come to you for like testosterone and stuff like that?
Surprisingly, a lot of biohacking and mental performance. Yeah.
Really?
So
they're wanting to stay young. What?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Does testosterone do that?
I wouldn't say testosterone itself does that, because there's more to it, right? If you look at your lifestyle, then just testosterone itself won't be the one all answer.
Yeah. Would you advise someone, if they have low testosterone, to take it, or would you rather that they work out for 6 months and see if they can raise it on their own?
I think it depends on their goal. If we have room to look at their lifestyle, and then maybe there's certain supplements, and then certain exercises, like if you do HIIT, that can raise testosterone. If you do certain hacks, I like to say, and if you want to go ahead and start the testosterone, once we look at the advanced labs and looking at more than what conventional medicine looks at, then we could say, all right, well, why don't we just do both? Well, let's just track it. Or if you want to just do the lifestyle and then come back. So you have options, and it's really up to what that client wants.
So you're really about now specific one-on-one medicine.
And that's exactly how it should be.
It should be. I agree with that, because everyone's different.
Yeah.
And, even blood types are different, lifestyles are different, environments are different. Neuroplasticity is different.
Yep.
So you're approaching it holistically.
Exact holistic, not as people say woo-woo, but truly holistic in that sense.
Yeah. And you're an actual doctor, so you know both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people, even though a lot of these, holistic doctors don't have a medical degree, they do know quite a bit of stuff. And then you tend to trust them more because of the conspiracies in the world. And I think, there might be a line between the two for me. Because again, I break my arm, I'm going to a doctor and just have it set, and that's that. I'm not going to question the shot they give me, so I don't have pain. But like if I were to get diagnosed with something, I'm not just going in and listening to any doctor. I'll go in and get their opinion. Then I'm going to go get someone else's opinion. And I think ultimately people have what's called confirmation bias. Like, I want you to tell me that there's some natural cure and I'm going to live. And if you don't, I'm going to go find another doctor until one does. But again, that could be dangerous. Look at Steve Jobs. What'd Steve Jobs die from?
I have to look back and know.
But he could have, he was out trying to find the wooey heal for that. When in reality, he maybe could have got in and just plain old traditional standard medicine could have cut that out and he'd have been fine. Prostate cancer nowadays. A lot of guys get that. Well, dude, you don't die from that unless you do nothing about it. Colonoscopies, you know, they can find polyps and get them out of there, or you don't do anything about it and they kill you. So like little things where like standard care is probably the right way to go in some cases. But in the other cases, I agree. It's holistic. It's more than that. It's not just the medicine, because I think medicine, that's pharmaceutical. I think that's a little bit more on the, hey, I need you to buy my shit side. Doctors just get told this is what it is. Because otherwise, how do you explain the opioid pandemic, basically, that where doctors were making money prescribing, what was it, Oxycontin?
Yeah, all the narcotics.
Knowing full well that shit's addictive and these guys are going to be screwed, but they did it anyway. Yeah. Well, why? Well, I watched the movie. The why was because little cute pharmaceutical salespeople would come strolling through and incentivize them to prescribe it. And then the patients obviously wanted more of it and everything was gravy. Don't you think that they should be held responsible as well?
I think there's a fine line of wanting to do no harm. And then there are some, I'm not saying all of them, because most doctors don't operate that way. In general, I think going back to most people have good intentions. Some of them do slip through the cracks and put a bad name on doctors. And that's where it comes into differentiating yourself, re-educating people. And that's a big part of what I do, why people trust me, because I re-educate and I'm authentic and genuine about it. Going back to what you had asked, I think the way it's set up with Big Pharma and then the money that comes from it, people probably easily got sucked into it. And unfortunately, it's very addictive. It can cause death, which of course it does. It continues to. I think more because of those instances, there's more of a microscope on doctors. But it's bigger than that, because most of the time, doctors in conventional corporate medicine, you're getting your strings pulled. It's a non-medical person pulling the strings. It's whoever the shareholders' interests are, wherever that is.
Where do you get your rules?
For patient care in a corporate setting?
Yeah, like when COVID was going on and doctors weren't allowed to say anything bad. Like, did you guys get faxes? Did someone call you and say, don't say anything? Or where do you get your rules from?
So this highlights how corrupt the system is. And the hospital I was at when it started, initially, everybody was confused, right? It's like, oh, this is a made up virus and don't put a mask on. You're scaring people. And I was in the COVID unit. At that time, I had babies. My kids were little. And so for me, it's like, I'm not going to take any chances to put my kids at risk. And you're telling me something simple that's going to keep my kids safe so I can maybe go home. I can't put a mask on because you're telling me because it affects business that I shouldn't. And it came through an email. We got nasty emails.
From who?
From the administrators at the hospital saying.
But who told them?
And that's the thing. We don't know. We don't know. We just get told the information that they want us to. It's a hostile, scare-based system. And so when people started dying, when we would go into, healthcare workers would go into patients' room with COVID, that first strain that was quite deadly, they would get sick and a lot of people would die. Then there was an issue of getting enough masks and appropriate gear. Once they caught on, like, oh my goodness, maybe we have an issue that our healthcare workers are dying. Maybe we should take this seriously and provide the gear that they need.
So did you witness that happening?
Oh, it was everywhere. Yeah.
No, it wasn't everywhere.
In our hospital.
But you witnessed it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was driving home. They said the hospital was overflowing with patients.
Yes.
I drove down. There was no overflowing of patients.
Really? Here in Texas.
So they were lying, the news, which made me think, well, that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they say it's overflowing when it wasn't? And then I didn't know of a lot of people who died, but you kept seeing the news, like they're stacking bodies and like, you know, it was panic. So you're saying that there really were like completely healthy people getting this first strain and dying.
Yes, I remember in particular, I had this seemingly healthy middle-aged woman. We were talking normal, made my rounds, and I would say maybe within 30 minutes, she crashed, coded, and died. And there were some days that there weren't enough hospital beds at this facility. So yes.
And they all had COVID.
Sorry?
They all had COVID.
Yeah, you would not see as many normal issues like heart failure, stroke. It was mostly all COVID.
So where did it come from? Because now supposedly, it was lab made.
Yeah, that's where it gets into the conspiracy, right?
Well, again, why are you doing what do they call that? Where they modify the virus to be even more deadly?
Oh yeah, when you're actually that's exactly how you say it. You're modifying the genetics.
Yeah, like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why would
you're creating a different strain?
And why would anyone do that?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't that be outlawed? Like, hey, we're not here to find a virus and then figure out how to make it more deadly. What's the purpose of that?
Wherever that agenda was. Yeah.
So here comes the vax. What was your email saying about that?
We had to get a vaccine.
Did you have to get one?
I had to.
And you did?
I had to. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't be able to support my family.
Do you regret it now?
No, because I did the best that I could to protect the people around me that I love. Now, the following strains, we had an option. So I didn't do those.
You had an option. Why the following strains? They were weaker? They
were weaker. They mutated itself and they weren't as deadly. What we saw, and I actually spoke to a lot of my colleagues, and we were all thinking, there's a lot of young men that we notice that once they get, I'm not saying the vaccine is good or bad, but at this point, we started seeing that young men in their 20s, 30s, healthy, would get the vaccine, and you would start seeing side effects like heart issues, right? So like maybe inflammation around the heart, pericarditis, right? Just randomly. So we would also see kidney issues, kidney failure. So then it makes me think, if most of the population already had it and they have some sort of immunization off of that, and you practice safety or whatever your choice is, isn't it better to not get the vaccine if you're going to cause more harm? That was my thought process. And then the colleagues at that time and I were like, yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do that. We're not doing it. So at that point, we had a choice.
A lot of nurses lost their jobs because they didn't get it. But I'm not a conspiracy nut. So I just figured, you know what? It was just rushed. It's not ready. Mm-hmm. But it's old news. Mm-hmm. That's what's crazy. Like, that was yesterday. Who cares? Move on.
Yeah.
Now what? There's a video that says when you die, for first few hours, everyone's going to be crying at your funeral. And then, within a couple of days, they're going to be sad at lunch. And then within a few months, they'll start laughing again. Then within a few years, they're moving on with their life. So why are you so worried about what everybody thinks if you died today, like people just move on? It's like crazy to think about. But that's mindset. That's shifting your perspective and starting to realize maybe I should live for me. So how did you get out of the rut that you had yourself in mentally? So was it the discipline that the military teaches you? What was it?
Yeah. In college, I want to backtrack a bit. So that was another war zone, was in COVID, where I thought I need to do something else. There's a different way to help people heal on a personalized level. And so then I went back and got certified in functional medicine, because those were the tools that can help, that can truly help people on a personal level. Take health into your own hands. And that's your internal medicine. That is your true internal medicine, knowing the tools. For me, back in college, I didn't understand why I was having panic attacks. And I didn't know. I did have the bandage approach. I did what normal people would do, go to a doctor to find help. And the conventional system failed me. They said, try this antidepressants. And I didn't like the side effects. Maybe talk therapy. It wasn't until I laugh about this, but it's true. It wasn't until I went to a yoga class on site. It was a trained yoga instructor from India that taught me mindfulness, breathwork, and going back to just practicing pause. And then I used those tools to get me through. And that's what helped me. Then I thought, when I saw in my own practice in the hospital setting, people would come in with anxiety, panic attacks, and you would drug them up. So they're zombies. And I'm like, what is the root cause? Did they have underlying trauma? Is there nutrient deficiency masking this? Maybe it's like a simple vitamin D deficiency, and maybe there's multiple nutrients. Maybe it's something that happened in their childhood that they need to explore deep.
Maybe they need a hug.
Right? Like, just need some love, right? So then that's where I went, got certified, and I thought, the system is broken. If I want to create something new, I need to create it. So that's where I came up with Dr. Remina. And I thought, why don't I actually add tools based off of science and ancient wisdom? Because if you look at it, for instance, a lot of burnout is basically stress gone unchecked. Well, what is stress? Everyone has different stress, whether it's mindset or the way you eat, lifestyle choices, sleep. It's all a type of stress your body interprets, because it doesn't know the difference when you're in that. Breaking it down with your nervous system, you have a fight or flight sympathetic nervous system response, and you have a rest, digest, parasympathetic nervous system response. That plays into your whole body. And when you look at burnout from that perspective, that's where you can find the tools. So yes, simple mindset adjustments, but then what you're eating. So if you look at highly processed foods that we are all exposed to, that creates a stress response in your body, and it throws everything out of whack. It raises the main stress hormone I want to label is cortisol. That's your stress response. What that does is, when that's up, the rest of your body won't function. So the symptoms that you may feel is the anxiety, your heart racing, maybe you break out in sweat and you can't focus, right? But what is causing that? Then you throw in no sleep. Sleep helps you recover. It detoxes the toxins in your brain and the rest of your body. It helps it flush out. It helps you focus. Then you go into what you're consuming. That causes an inflammatory response. All the other stuff, your mindset, your mind, body, spirit connection, those are the hacks. So if you learn for your body just based off of that, before even getting the advanced diagnostics, imagine what you could do taking your life into your own hands. So I thought further on this. Okay, well, what about the tools? What works? So yes, when you look at nervous system regulation, what techniques are out there? Yes, breath work, maybe meditation, yoga. You look at the vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your body. And how do you tap into that? That taps into your nervous system.
How long is the vagus nerve?
I don't know exactly how long, but it goes from here all the way throughout your body. So it's however tall you are. For you, it would be longer.
How do you tap that?
It is, so you could do, it's right here between your neck. So when you look at people gargling or doing a massage, that's one way that you tap into it. But when you look at breathing, so within the first 30 seconds, say if someone has a stressful meeting in a corporate setting, or if you're having a heated argument with your partner or whatever the case is, if you tune in and just take a deep breath, it takes 30 seconds. You could do box breathing. You could do like inhale 4 or 5 seconds in and out, but that tells your nervous system that you are safe and calmed down. Then you look by breathing and meditation, right? And then
breathing slow in,
slower out. That tells your cortisol response, your nervous system, that it's okay, you're not in danger. But if you look at it, where does that come from, right? It's there to save us. So if you're getting chased by a bear, then you want to outrun it. But when that immediate danger is gone, your body has time to rest. Burnout is if you have that repeated issue, whether it's your thought, whether it's a lifestyle, to keep going to that point you're burnt out. So if you're burnt out, cortisol is up, you're not going to have rest digest. You're going to have gut issues. You're going to have libido issues. You're not going to want to reproduce. You're going to age. Your hair is going to fall out. All this stuff will happen. So that's how it all ties in. I started thinking, what else are people going to do? What tools can I give them? Well, yeah, you can do all the additional biohacks, cold plunge, sauna, eating right, all that. But then I thought there's data out there that shows sound healing. If you look at sound healing, yes, meditation helps, but sound healing for people that can't get out of their head, there was a study that showed imaging on a brain. Look at an anxious brain. It lights up differently than a calm brain. You look at the modalities, whatever the choice is, include sound healing, it changes it. There was this device that was also created that measures the brain waves. So this is in real time.
So do you believe in sound healing?
I do, because you can also track it.
What about Rife machines?
Potentially.
Frequencies.
Yeah. Frequencies are
because sound
big.
is frequency.
It is. And the reason why, because yes, the frequency can change your brain waves. And it was shown on this device. So when you look at the frequencies, you look at breathwork, you look at sound healing, it changes your brain into the relaxation theta zen state. If that doesn't mean anything to you, I've had people come to me, high functioning corporate men, women, and when they experienced that, they could feel it in their body. And they came to me, I'm like, Dr. Remina, this is amazing. I didn't know that my body was so stressed. It opened me up to a different way. And so now they find those modalities.
Do you have any known sound healing resources?
I actually do it myself.
Well, where can I get some?
Well, I could bring it to you.
Well, where do I get my own? Because you can't keep bringing them to me.
Just call me up and I'll do it for you. But but for those, I don't have any stock in this company, but there are some really great apps. There's one called Insight Timer, and it's a big app you could take with you. And you could tap in. Maybe it's a 3-second reset. Sometimes that's all you need.
And it's all sound from your phone?
It's sound from your phone, and it has different sounds. So, and different frequency based off of what you need. But in particular, there are sound bowl frequencies. And try when you wake up, when you set the day before you grab your phone and get onto your agenda. Because that's the best way to start your day. If you can regulate your nervous system, get your mindsets started. Because if you start with gratitude and start with that positive note, it's in your hands, then you will fine tune the rest of your day.
Well, now you're preaching my language.
Yes.
I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you that I believe that we're all a frequency.
Yes.
And everything has a frequency. So does pathogens. Mm-hmm. So does disease. So does cancer. So does, lint. Like everything has a frequency to it. And so if you, have a sound, that sound wave is producing a frequency, and that frequency is, merging or bouncing off other frequencies. I just think there's something to frequency, something to sound. Mm-hmm. And I was reading this one conspiracy book. It talked about this town buried all the bells in the town, the big, Liberty Bell type bells. And then I got to thinking, you don't see many bells anymore, do you?
No. Yeah.
But like this town they've uncovered all these bells that they buried. And apparently the rumor was hundreds of years before, these bells, they would ring when, the townspeople were sick. Everybody would come in and they would just play the bells and no one ever got sick. So someone came along and, of course, took the bells and got rid of them. Why? Because, there's an evil cabal that wants us all sick. And again, I think confirmation bias makes people want to believe that, even though I don't know, but you would think you would, because you've studied it. You've went in there. What's the bullshit everybody thinks is real that you know about? Sugar, for example. Mm-hmm. I just saw a sugar diet where Sugar is supposedly good for you now.
I'm sorry. That makes me laugh.
I know, but it's like, dude, listen, that's confirmation bias. I'll be like, yeah, I want that diet. But like, what is bullshit that most doctors know is straight bullshit, but the public thinks is real?
Sugar is never going to be good for you in excess.
Yeah, I don't think it's good for you at all.
That's definitely BS. Yeah. So that goes along with, where are you getting your information? Find a trusted source and re-educate. So sugar and anything else in excess is never going to be good for you. Even
like healthy stuff?
Define healthy, because there's another one I got to say. Protein in excess. Healthy food. What's healthy, right? You think maybe whole grains is healthy?
One ingredient.
Things that you can read. If it's a whole paragraph.
No, like a potato.
Yeah.
They got you thinking, you eat potatoes, you'll get fat. No, you won't get fat eating potatoes. I've seen people get shredded eating potatoes.
Yeah.
But there wasn't butter and sour cream and olive oil and salt. Oh, the salt, that's another one. You know, salt's good for you.
Yeah.
But they say it's bad for you.
Oh, yeah. Electrolytes, that's all it is. Electrolytes are good for you.
See, I just wish I knew a doctor to trust. Is that you?
It absolutely is. I pride myself in that, and I'm grateful for having that trust.
Well, you got a lot of people that trust you. I don't live in Dallas, or otherwise I'd come over there and try whatever you're having me do. But it sounds like, based on what you're saying, you know, you're on the right track, because I don't think it's a medicine that's going to help. And if it does, it's a part of it, because the rest of it is sleep better, quit stressing, start working out, quit eating garbage, hydrate, and then a little of this medicine. So it heals like it should, because the medicine usually takes care of the symptom.
Exactly.
It doesn't solve the problem. So it's the rest of the stuff you teach that solves a problem. And then the medicine, sometimes you just need it to solve the symptom.
Sometimes you do. Well, let me tell you
pain.
something. Yeah.
Like, I'll take medicine for pain.
Well, if your body needs it, yeah.
But like when I have a headache sometimes, which I very rarely do, you know, I'll say, babe, where's the Advil? Yeah. Why? Well, because when you take them, it goes away. So I mean, that's all I wanted was relief from pain. But if I knew that Advil was going to do some other bullshit, you know, after a while, well, then I'd just take the pain. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just a nuisance. So I wish someone would tell us, like, truth in medicine, where, hey, yeah, that'll take away the pain temporarily, but you can only do it 9 times, because once you do it the 10th time, well, now you got a tumor growing in your butt.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you something. A lot of my clients find me virtually too. I am licensed in the state of Nevada, so definitely hit me up.
Okay. So where can people hit you up from?
Yeah. Contact me. I have my website and then Instagram.
Any state?
Any state. Yeah. And here's the thing, because I'm also internal medicine, I'll know the red flags. But then I add in the tools, and that's it. Like, for instance, hey, Dr. Ramina, I got a headache, and clients hit me up all the time. My gut is feeling this way. I'm like, well, what did you eat? Let's see what is your body doing? If you have a headache right now, well, let's look at the root cause.
And you can prescribe things.
I can prescribe things. Yeah. And that's the benefit. One stop shop that's a trusted source and really helping you.
Well, and what about family plans?
I don't, but that is something I can do. I have a membership tier level, but
you would probably want to offer a family plan. Like, if I used you,
I
got wife and kids, my kids got the runs, you know, what do I do? It's not about me. It's about my kid.
Yeah.
Why don't you offer a family plan?
I think I will. That's easy to do. Just add on. Yeah.
Yeah. Just at higher level.
Exactly.
Because if you got to deal with me and only me, it's not as much time than if I call you 19 times, because I have a 3-year-old at home who's running around learning that, you know, germs are not always a good thing, because they get sick more, if you ask me.
They do. But that's good for their system too. They're building up their immune system.
What about white lights? You know, at night, how do you get the best sleep? Because I know sleep is important.
Oh yeah.
So how would somebody listening get the best sleep possible?
The more we perform and the more we think about mindset and we want to age well, sleep is so impactful. In fact,
I never get much, and that's my problem. I need to figure out, what am I doing wrong? Or Is it bullshit you need 8 hours?
Everyone's body's different. You need good quality sleep.
So how do you know if you're getting good quality sleep?
Well, first I'd be like, Brad, let's break it down. I'm going to sit with you and say, tell me your routine. What are you doing before bed? What's going on in your day? I look at everything in depth. The superficial, like normal stuff. Well, are you looking at a blue screen before you go to sleep? What's the temperature in your room, right? What's going on in your mind? Is it racing? So we can look at that, but additionally,
watch.
There you go. So that's part of it. Yeah.
So I do that at night. About 8:30, I turn the screen, all white lights and blue lights go off in my house. And I've only been doing it for like a week.
Yeah.
And for some reason, man, it does make me more tired at night.
Good.
So it's like I'm trying to stay awake, where before, like I'd almost have to go to sleep and I'd watch TV and like that's more white light.
Exactly.
I got these orange lights for the plug-ins. So now I turn the lights down at 8:30, turn the orange lights up, and it's only been 3 days and I think I'm sleeping way deeper.
Look how good that is. You don't even have to go towards a medicine.
No medicine.
See, people need to know about this. And for you, I'd say, yes, that's good. And the reason why is because there's a portion of your brain that needs rest, not scrolling on social media or looking at TV, but actual rest to turn it off.
Does your brain need sun?
It definitely does.
What's that called?
So you need sunlight so it hits your retina and your stress cortisol and your melatonin, your sleep hormone. They adjust. And so that's another hack. Is
neuromelatonin.
Your melatonin. Yeah. So that is another hack. So I would ask you when you first wake up too, not only when you're going to sleep, what is your routine looking like? Are you allowing yourself for your nervous system to settle down?
Well, ask me real quick.
Yeah. Are you?
What?
What you said, ask me real quick.
Yeah. Like what my routines are.
Well, tell me your routine.
In the morning
you wake up and before going to bed.
Well, I've changed it recently. Trying something new, but I used to get up, drink a couple cups of coffee, head to the gym, work out, come to work.
Wait, interjecting. You woke up and went straight to coffee?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Then went and worked out, throw in a nicotine pouch, went to the office about 1 or 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, ate my first meal, went home, ate my second meal around 7 or 8 o'clock, played Call of Duty till about 9 o'clock, hung out with the kids, laid in bed, watched TV till I fell asleep. Now what I do is I wake up and I go outside with my shirt off and I walk.
Barefoot?
In the sun. No, but I can go ground.
Yeah.
But no, I just walk probably about 20 minutes in one direction and 20 minutes back in the sun, no headphones. So, cause from what I hear, sunlight goes in your ears too, and no sunglasses. Like I am exposing myself to the sun, just walking. Is that good?
Oh, that's so good. You're getting grounded in nature.
Yeah.
So good for.
Should I also go ground with my bare feet on the ground?
You could.
Next to a tree?
Yes.
Again, scientifically, it shows
absolutely
that is doing something to your energy. And I think it's all about that. There is an energy field. We give off energy. There's frequencies going on. There's electromagnetic shit going on. This phone's casting it. This thing's casting it. This thing's casting it. And all day long, it's messing with our frequencies. And if we could figure out, okay, come home and lay on a PMF mat or whatever that's called, ground, whatever you got to do. And all of a sudden it kind of puts it back into harmony.
Yes.
I think that would extend somebody's life and improve their health dramatically. And it has nothing to do with medicine.
Oh, absolutely. 100% agree with that.
So you put people on these type of things and you have all the hacks if people call you.
Sure.
Well, you might get a lot of DMs. Would you answer in the DM?
I would.
Folks, Dr. Remina is her Instagram at Dr. just Dr. Remina, Remina. So when you guys hear her, because she's building a brand, I heard of her from some other people. It's Dr. Remina. The Panjwani is her last name, but usually you'll find her Dr. Remina. And then the podcast you're kicking off is the Dr. Remina Panjwani show. What are you going to talk about on that? Who are you going to have on?
Well, actually already started, but I show people what wellness looks like in different aspects. So some conversations, we've had some mutual friends on there. Some of them in the performance industry and the coaching. That's all important because, again, not only is it frequency, it is a frequency, but it's also a part of health and wellness. It's all holistic. So there's always the non-conventional way to truly get the information you need to be optimal. So you'll get some good information. So some of them you'll have like the performance coaches, you'll have neuroscientists, you'll have like EDM yoga talk. We'll have a neuro shaman. Like there's so many different aspects that are out there to truly give you your own tools to be optimal.
So you're like a biohack podcast kind of for health.
But a doctor, wellness. Right? There you go.
Yeah. Usually the doctors are against a lot of that stuff. Why do you think that is? Just because they were taught not to buy the bullshit?
Yeah, but we're seeing this movement. A lot of my friends and colleagues are saying, wow, I wish I learned this in med school or wish I could get more training on this. So you could see more physicians are coming together. I have a friend that's a surgeon, another friend that's an interventional cardiologist, and they're like, there's so much you could do outside of conventional medicine. Yes, we're all doing life-saving things, but how much better is it to do this so they don't have to get to that point?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tune in just for some anti-aging information. I'm getting old. Like my eyes in the last year have went. It's like, is there something I can do for that? Is there some sort of sound that will put my skin tight again?
Yeah.
Anti-aging. Any killer anti-aging hacks?
Well, we need to know what your routine is. What's your skincare routine? Number one. Okay, so then we go. We got to look at, moisturize, hydrate. As we age, collagen, the stuff that keeps your skin tight, decreases. So you want to make sure you have the right supplements. You're eating enough protein already, I'm sure. You're already doing all that.
No, I just eat meat.
Just eat meat?
Yeah, like I don't take protein powder.
Oh, that's good. And there can be, protein powder, the right type can help, but you're already eating the right type of protein.
I'm trying to eat right now one ingredient food.
Okay.
Meaning, you have a steak, it's steak. You have a potato, it's a potato. It's not boxed, manufactured. What do they call that? Processed.
Yeah.
It's not processed. If it comes in a pouch and it was made some factory, I try not to eat it. So I don't know what that diet that's called, but
you're just going back to what's real.
Yeah, real.
Yeah.
Just real food, real one ingredient food,
Yeah.
If I eat a salad, it's, mixture of all one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like any nonsense. This morning though, I had they called them sweet potato croutons, which are just diced sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
And they were like so damn good. It was unbelievable. And I'm like, there's gotta be something in these. This is too good. Yeah. So I look, and sure enough, it wasn't just sweet potatoes. It was sweet potatoes, avocado oil, sea salt. Like they had to dick with it. So now I can't have them, even though they were good.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go natural. What does your morning routine look like?
Well, I am big on meditating, getting my quiet time, getting my mind right. A lot of high performers visualize. So I definitely make sure I do that. So I wake up before everybody else wakes up because, if you got kids, you won't get that quiet time. So I make sure before they wake up, I start basic. I'm in my bed. I don't even get up. I feel my bed. I feel my breath. And I start with gratitude. And then I get up. I start with mindset. What do I want the day to look like? Let me breathe. And then sometimes I'll do my own guided meditation or I'll use one of my apps. I'll do that. Then I will take out my journal. I'll take out my journal and make sure I do my gratitude journal because I'm priming my mind for the day. Make sure I get enough fluids, going into the fluids, hydrate, sometimes throw in some electrolyte because we need that, which would also help your skin as well. Then I'll go outside. Get some sunlight, have a cup of coffee, and then start whatever I have to do with the day.
So you do coffee too?
Oh yeah.
Someone told me that raises your cortisol, and your cortisol is already up because you woke up. So when you wake up, it raises your cortisol because
Yeah.
It's survival. It wants you a little more alert or something.
Mm-hmm.
So coffee will shoot it up.
So here's the thing where you need to know. This is why working with me, I'll tell you, you got to have the right, good quality coffee. So if it's organic, low acid, no mold, yes, sometimes coffee has mold, but if you have the right type and if you give yourself enough hydration, I let myself have coffee about an hour after I wake up because by then I try to regulate my system already. Then I have my cup of coffee and there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. The good quality coffee.
Where do you get the good quality coffee?
So
because that's another thing. It says organic and then it's not. Toxic free, then it's not. Mm-hmm. No crap in here, then you find crap in there. Like, where do you get the real good coffee that you trust?
So I have no stock in this, but from me just trying it myself and then looking at it, I actually like Bulletproof coffee.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty clean.
Bulletproof.
Just plain. I don't put anything in there.
Yeah. Dave Asprey, old company.
Yeah.
Now he has Dangerous coffee.
Now he has that. Yes.
Yeah. But it's important because there's toxins and fungus in coffee, mold.
Yeah.
Just regular coffee, like the K-Cups and the Starbucks and the shit like that. Like you don't realize, but there's moldy beans and you're drinking it and it does go into your body. Last question. Mm-hmm. You ever heard of EBOO where they take out your blood on one side and then filter it and then put it back in the other side?
Yeah.
And it comes out red and dark and goes in bright red and wonderful looking. Is there any value to that?
I need to look at the data a little bit more because there's a lot of these modalities that are popping up and I want to look at how beneficial that is because there are, and it can be confusing.
Well, if your body's not filtering your blood properly and an actual filter is, but then, I want to go do it. And then I'm thinking, well, that's not natural.
Exactly.
That's for sure. So like maybe it's filtering out shit that needed to be in there.
Exactly. And so what I would say is, let's look back into your system. Are your natural detox pathways working?
Like liver, kidneys?
Like liver. Are you having the supplements? Because maybe I need to put you on like NAD, NAC, glutathione, like the good stuff. And then maybe we need to go in the sauna, go sweat that out, infrared sauna. It's going to be beneficial. Maybe we need to do that instead, right? So I would look at it in that sense where you still are doing things naturally, but hacking it with things that aren't going to really be artificial.
All right. Well, folks, you guys heard it here. If you guys want true wellness, not just from a woo-woo doctor, but an actual doctor who's a little woo-woo now, that's Dr. Remina. You guys can find her at Dr. Remina. drremina.com is her website, and her podcast is the Dr. Remina Panjwani Show. Anything the Bomb Squad can do for you?
I would love to drop a bomb on my book coming out, my first book coming out.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you.
What's it called?
It's called Odd Girl Out, Doctor Within.
Oh, nice. When's it come?
It'll be out in a month.
So by the time this drops, it'll probably be out.
Yes.
I'll try to drop this right when it gets out so you can boost some book sales.
I would so appreciate that.
Are you going to be on Amazon and all that?
Amazon, yes.
Can they pre-order it right now?
Not yet. I'm going through the final edit and it should be ready to come out by the end of August.
When it is ready, where will they go get it?
They can get it online and then hopefully at Amazon and then hopefully at the bookstore soon.
Folks, go buy the book, Odd Girl Out. Till next time, stay healthy and keep it real.